Hey everyone, this is Glennie Sewell, Messenger Guardians Paranormal Investigation Studios. So tonight we had a spectacularly failed stream for not because of NUPS or Justin who was on for it with us tonight. We'll be back in 1 week. We'll be back next Friday. But I have never seen a layer of errors occur that were so incredibly bad. We were streaming. Well, we streamed first for just a few seconds, just a few minutes. The stream wasn't coming up, and we stopped it and restarted the stream. Apparently, the stream ran for about 10 minutes, but on our screens it ran for about 43 minutes. But we were going through a massive comedy of issues and errors. The sound wouldn't correct to save our lives. The sound wouldn't correct. There were no open speakers. I'm in a quiet house with other people who were sleeping here in Burlington. I'm away from home. I know the laptop can handle it. I absolutely know that it can handle it. Um, so it's kind of crazy that things went as 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 wild and weird as it did. So we're gonna try again next week, but we're gonna try for the main studio, and I might be trying another method of bringing Justin in, but it was just absolutely wild how everything just went crazy, and then the stream was not actually transmitting, and we're wired. I'm not actually doing it on a wireless network. I'm doing it on a wired network. Um, so with quality wired streaming, which I always use. So it's really weird. The network here streams just fine. Um, Streams movies, and during the pandemic we were here, and during the first shutdown we were here, and we all had our meetings and did things, and we shared when we were streaming. We didn't do it at the same time, but no TVs were on, no nothing. It was just weird. It was, we cut the audio off on the two of the main streams for when we were using OBS Ninja to to put in a guest, to put Justin in as a guest and myself. So I cut off the microphone on my side for the control room, shut that off. I shut off my microphone here on OBS, on the OBS Studio, because I don't need it when I'm using OBS Ninja. And then the browser sources were up, and the browser sources don't seem to have a setting to where you can knock out the audio, because if you try to knock the audio out, it's just feeding the same audio from the control room to the shared browser settings. But for whatever reason, it sounds like it was doubling the audio. It didn't give options to shut off the audio, and it's really just weird, because for a moment, if that were really the case, then we wouldn't. I turned these down so that they wouldn't feed into the microphone, and we got 99% of that audio to go away, of that audio looping feedback, and then suddenly it came back. Really weird, really strange, just a series of errors. The reason why I'm running this stream for a moment is because I want to let everyone know we'll be back next Friday, because no one wants to come back. I'm going to actually leave up the stream we did. It was only 10 minutes, and I really wanted everyone to see the disaster that it turned into. But that alone, really, when you get things together, I don't know, entities, other things, who really don't want you moving forward, who don't want the stream going up. I mean, it's amazing. The video that we ran for Chaplain Hall at the university, the video ran okay, and the audio was fine. But right at the end of the audio, right at the end of the video, it shut off. The stream shut off, but kept going on the OBS Studio as if it were transmitting, but froze on my cell phone. That we were watching it, both of us on our cell phones, and it froze. But it froze not on the end of the video, it just froze in our faces, or froze at the video later, but it didn't get any further. It's really strange, but something odd was happening. So what I'm also trying to do is to prove that I absolutely can um, that I absolutely can. Let me turn this up a bit. Turn it back up again. That I absolutely can um, broadcast just fine. I can actually broadcast with my laptop just fine away from home, because I'm really going to be counting on this to run the stream while I'm at my usual place overseas, as long as everything works out and I'm able to go. Not vacation. I usually go for 2 months to one particular region. So I'm running this, and I just managed to turn up my audio. Sorry about that, it was down, but I'm hoping you all were still able to hear me enough. But as I had said, the stream froze, but the stream didn't stop on our end. It didn't stop recording or stop streaming. We started the stream for just a few minutes. It apparently froze on our phones. We stopped it and restarted it, and in that restart we ran the stream for 42 minutes. But when I went on to Twitch, the stream said it was only 10 minutes long. I wasn't reading any dropped frames, which is again extraordinarily strange. Our live notation wasn't reading live. That has never happened before. I have dropped frames 0% live, and I remember now when I was looking at the live framing, it just said 0, even though we had been live for 10 minutes. It said 0. Boy, was this the most weirdest, strangest, crazy thing. It might be that the CPU was just taking on too much stuff. That's very possible, that the CPU just can only handle so much. That's always possible. Because it was definitely handling a lot of video and handling those kind of things, and so it's possible that the CPU went crazy. But right now I'm testing the running of the CPU just to see whether or not that was a problem, and there's still enough CPU to stop anything from crashing. This computer, this laptop, likes to crash, but it didn't crash. That's another strange thing. It absolutely should have crashed, and it didn't crash, and I don't understand why. So what's going to happen is Justin and I will come back on again next week. We will come back on again, and we will run this whole show again, and we'll run it in a different order, of course, but we'll run it again. It's definitely been an interesting night. Was it paranormal? Probably not. Just a comedy of errors, of technical errors. Could it happen? Sure, absolutely. But am I going to make that claim? No, by no means, because I don't need to. But it was weird. That much is for certain. So what I am doing, however, is I'm really quickly going to see whether or not I can bring up what I tried to show us, and see whether or not I've got this thing playing. And if it did turn out to be a problem with OBS Ninja, which is a really good site, it's an awesome site, and but if it turned out to max out the CPU, which it could have done, then maybe that was it. But right now my CPU is not maxing, and again, if that were the case, this laptop tends to freeze and then tends to freeze everything, and it didn't freeze anything. So it was really kind of strange that it didn't do what it needed to do, like freeze things up. So Chaplain computer, I'm gonna just play this to test it, because Justin and I tried, and we'll replay it again next week. Hold on, let me turn on desktop audio and show you the video real quick, but we're going to show you this again next week, and this is just to test out, but let's see.
Alright, and we are currently outside the computer room here in Chaplain Hall, and we are getting ready to begin our SP7 session. Currently set to AM, and begin. Got nothing? Alright, can you tell me your name?
Hello, Drew? Drew. I'm here with a new friend. He wants to meet
I
you.
heard hey. I heard hey. Hi, Drew. Is that your name? Is your name Drew? Is there a female up here with Drew?
Stop the recording for a second. Does that record sound?
Yeah, it's recording audio and video right now.
Stop the recording for a second.
Okay, so that was because my CPU held up just fine, and again I'm running a browser, but I'm running the browser and I'm running two legs of the browser was what I'm running, just to see I'm running a third link now on the browser as well, just to see what it does. It was just strange, man. It was strange. So let me show you all the one image I showed. Okay, again, I'm doing this because I'm using it pretty much as a preview, and when I load this, I'm going to probably load this in YouTube because I can't sleep. I'm not going to go to sleep until I can create a little bit of a upcoming or preview for the show that I owe all the NUPS people for this thing falling apart. And hey, you know what? Comedy of errors. Sometimes I think that our errors and our failures are probably our greatest triumphs, because it's about how you deal with it, not that it happens. So let me show you all the picture that I had for the group and that you all get to see. And again, I'm doing this as a stream, but when I load this into YouTube, it's going to be as a preview. I'm going to do stuff to it and load it as a preview for you guys, because all of you, and that includes those of you who aren't NUPS, you guys deserve it. You guys should have seen it. You guys should have been able to get this good stuff. So guess what? I'm going to do my best for you. But here's one of the images, and it's the only one. I'm not going to load the other one, mainly because I didn't run it tonight. I tried to run it tonight, but here it is. And you can freeze your stop the screen or whatever, but this image has a lot going on in it, and this isn't the only one, but I won't show the next one till next week. But there's a lot going on in it, and especially when when you look very carefully in certain areas of the screen, when you look in certain areas, there were people all over the place in this image. And the images that have slightly bad quality, they seem to be able to manipulate the energy in the air better through when you look through when you're looking through something that doesn't have enough light running into it. So it's really interesting. The crisper the image, the less they're able to show, except maybe as orbs. And then you got to be very careful. That could be dust or what have you. But dust dust moves in groups, large groups. Orbs change directions, go all over the place, and have streamers behind them. So it's really crazy. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and do that for you all and make that a preview. And I hope you're going to be able to enjoy the preview. So and again, I'm doing this because I'm hoping it runs so I can hear it and see if this laptop can handle a stream, and see if it's something else. Because man, Justin and I definitely it was crazy, and we're kind of glad you all didn't see the audio issues we were having. That was the 8th episode. I had never on air, well, one time, and I got rid of the episode. I had some audio issues, but turns out those were really simple. This one, there's no external speakers, nothing hooked up. That you couldn't really. I turned these down so far to where they wouldn't attempt to feed back into this, and it went away. And then all of a sudden, Justin's cam went out for a moment. I brought his cam back up again because I had to add the browser source again, and all heaven broke loose with the sound. It was with the reverberation. It was crazy. It just kept going further and further into the distance. The reverberation just kept going into an eternity bounce. It was crazy. Was it paranormal? Probably not. But I tell you what, we couldn't find out what was going on to save our lives, and the stream just kept saying, nope, the stream's going. But it was just weird. We were supposed to be live. It said 0 on our second attempt to start the stream. The second attempt was for 42 minutes. When I looked back at Twitch, it was just 10 minutes and 14 seconds. And that's what I loaded into YouTube. You can see that. And it was just crazy. It was crazy to say the least. So I owe you all in NUPS, and you will get your full show from our studio. But right now, I'm proving that this thing can actually operate. From the laptop. You know what, team? I appreciate it, and we're going to see you again next week. This is Glennie Soul, Messenger Guardians Paranormal Investigation Studios, and speaking with my voice.
Currently outside the computer room here in Chaplain Hall, and we are getting ready to begin our SP7 session. Currently set to AM and begin. Alright, can you tell me your name?
Oh, good. I'm here with a new friend. He wants to meet
I heard hey. Hi, Drew. Is that your name? Is your name Drew? Is there a female up here with Drew? Yeah, it's recording audio and video right now.